We are now live. I don't know why we're like bobbleheads.
I don't know.
Why are we like bobbleheads today?
Do you ever hear of Bill and Ben, the flower pot
Bill and
men?
Ben?
That's from when I was a child, so no, you wouldn't have heard that.
Fair enough. Okay, very lovely to see you all. Very lovely to take a trip down memory lane with Joy.
I know.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a little while since we've done a TIK Live.
It is.
I feel like I start most TIK Lives by saying it's been a little while since we've done a TIK Live.
Was it last year?
No, we did a few in January.
Did we?
Were you not here?
No.
Joy might know. See, the roster thing changed. You weren't here on a Thursday.
Time disappears.
It
Time
does.
disappears.
It does.
I think like it's 5 years this month since COVID
Stop.
started.
5 years.
And it's like, so often you say, well, that was before COVID, and you mean like it's not very long ago. But it is.
Yeah,
thank God.
it is
Thank
a bit.
God.
Well, exactly. Put it behind us, and we're here. and We can sit this close together.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, well, anyway, let's talk to the peoples. So, hello, thank you for joining us, and I'd love to see everybody putting in where they are around the world or down the road that they're joining us from. But what we'd also love to know today is this your first time watching us? Have you watched a few of the live sessions, or are you a long time and avid joiner? So we'd love to know that.
Yep,
We'd love to know that, and we'd love to know what you're working on as well. Tell us, because it's been that little bit of time, and it's nice to kind of check in and see what people have been up to. What's your favorite yarn at the moment? What's your favorite project?
New?
All of that sort of stuff. So it'll be lovely. And it's Judith from Massachusetts is joining us for her first time. You are very welcome.
Welcome.
Occasionally we are more organised and less babbly than this, but only very occasionally.
No, we're not. No.
Listen, it's your first live as well. I say hi from Sweden is probably hi from Sweden, I hope. I'm not sure where Sweden is. And
yes,
then,
Sandy, you are. I know. I recognise
hiya,
your
Sandy.
name.
Hiya. And hello from Boston. I visited with you in person this past summer. I think I recognise your username as well. You might have messaged us before that. So, well, you're very welcome. Glad you can join us this way. Hello in Ecuador. Hello.
Ecuador. Wow.
Well, so for the first time peoples, just because I know who she is, but you might not. Her name is Joy. Joy works.
This is Lisa.
And hi. Joy has been a part of our This Is Knit family for eons. Yeah.
Good few years.
Eons and eons. And my name is Lisa, and together with Jackie, who is not here, Jackie, who is in New Zealand.
Yes.
We
Sending
own the
us
shop
photographs,
together. Yes.
torturing us.
Absolutely, yeah. She's having a great
She's
time.
having a ball.
And do you know where Jackie, my mum, went? She went into the shop in Greymouth, which was the first yarn shop that I walked into that gave me the Stitch and Bitch handbook, and it's still there. Pins and needles in Greymouth in New Zealand, and it's still there. And she chatted and she said, "Yeah, my daughter was here 20 years ago."
And inspired you.
And the rest was yarny history.
Wow.
So that was when we must share. She had a little video of like outside and pointing at the sign and all that sort of stuff. So
that's lovely.
Yeah, it's really nice. So big hello to Mum if you're watching back, but you're probably too busy exploring.
We miss you, Jackie.
It's okay, we do. And a big happy birthday to my sister Jenny, who yesterday turned a big roundy birthday.
We couldn't believe it.
Amazing. So we better do those shout outs. So but lovely to see we've got more people coming in and joining us. So what we're asking you to do is tell us where you're from, if it's your first time watching, or if you've been watching for a long time. Rich and Wool Pins and Needles, you know it. It's a great yarn store. Well, lovely people, and they set me up with yarn and needles for my first scarf way back in, and I'm hoping it's the same people that were there. It was 2004. Yeah.
That's a few years ago.
It's not that long. It's a while ago, but they were very, very lovely to backpacking me, who was
they must have been, because it really
curious.
inspired you.
Yeah, between themselves and the Stitch and Bitch handbook by Debbie Stoller, and just all the other lovely yarn shops that I saw in New Zealand and Australia when I was travelling. And then I came back here and went, where are the lovely yarn shops just like those people's? And me and Mum started This Is Knit. So that's the short version of the story. If you want the long version, you can go and have a look at the podcast interview I did with, well, actually 2 recently, Irina from Fibre Chats over on YouTube.
Oh, yes, Irina.
And with Carmen from A Yarn Story as well. You can have a look. So Valerie from Denver, your first time watching Colombia. Fiesta time, I agree. Fiesta time. I know.
Well, Mardi Gras was yesterday.
Was it?
No, not yesterday. Tuesday.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Definitely Fiesta.
Tuesday, yeah.
We should.
Did you make pancakes?
No, my kids got pancakes in school. So my kids got their pancakes in school, so I didn't end up making any.
I made 2 batches.
You were very good. I might have to do some
eating them, the kids,
this
the
weekend.
grandkids, obviously.
This weekend to make up for it, maybe. So, busy days. So, but it's lovely to see you joining us. Thanks for coming along. The epidote has been watching a while, have lost a bit of knitting mojo, so looking forward to hearing what everybody's doing. Absolutely. And from Drogheda, Miss Yahad, you're just up the road from where I am. Yeah. So, but let's talk about what we're doing, what we're wearing, and definitely share with us what you're working on if you're knitting along or crocheting while you're watching the live this evening. What we're doing is a catch up, a check-in, how's everybody, and then we'll hopefully inspire each other.
Yep.
Joy.
Okay.
Replete and Carl.
This is the Ilya sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and I had seen the pattern, and it was on my list. And then the Lamb and Kid, they're the shop on Seattle.
Yes, yeah.
What's that island? Bainbridge Island, is it?
But
anyway, they do these mad colourful. I just love them anyway.
Yes.
But they had a version on, and they had this orange pop.
Love it.
And it changed the sweater. It just we're little hinty here. We're well into oranges.
We are a little bit,
but
aren't
it
we?
just changed the sweater. So my hunt was on for the perfect orange. And initially I was going to do it in the alpaca all because they had that lovely poppy colour, but they discontinued it in the all. Must be able to, I don't know. Anyway,
just in that particular
so
base,
I went back to my go-to for soft Aran weight, worsted weight, and it's Rios, Malabrigo Rios.
Yeah.
So this is the coral colour, and then my favourite Azul
Profundo.
Profundo,
Azul
which is the
Profundo.
blue, and then this was Cosmos.
Very nice.
So I changed the neck. The neck was one of those more kind of cowly necks, so I just did a rib.
It works well.
But I tell you, I've hardly had it off since I finished it. I just love it.
It's a good sign. Looks super cozy. Yes.
So it's Ilya, Ilya by Caitlin Hunter.
And used all Malabrigo Rios.
All
Malabrigo
Malabrigo
Rios. Lovely.
And what about yourself?
Well, I'm just going to give a shout out to Flaming Brenda, because she said that she's in Dublin, but she hasn't been into the shop since COVID, but she'll be there for the Knit Social on Tuesday. Looking forward to it. Yes, so we have our quarterly Knit Social here. We've got our beautiful cafe friends outside where they do gorgeous canapes and food. It really is all very yummy. And then everybody can come along and you can grab your own drinks and you can chill out. You can bring whatever you like.
And lots of inspiration.
Tons, actually. Yeah, it's like this on steroids in person. And we're going to have a chance for people to try out doing their own blending on a blending board. If you're what we call spin curious. If you're spin curious, you can do blending board, drum carder. You can try out drop spindles. You can try out
play with the toys.
You can play with the toys. So we're just figuring out where to put that at the moment. But yes, we will have all of that in action on Tuesday as well. I'm just going to take this from around my neck, and then I'll just see. But what I am working on, hang on, Sandy is working on the Go-Go Dynamo with beautiful Fade Street 4-ply yarn. Very nice. Tell us about your colours. And then we got people joining from New Jersey. Thanks for joining. We wanted a bit of nice chat. This is lovely. Watching from the Netherlands. Hi, Maria. And finished my honeycomb shawl with wool from a beautiful shop that's Queen Algae. And now knitting the striped sweater. I love the striped sweater. You can tell I'm a little bit into stripes. Yes, so I should give a shout out
Me
to this.
too.
Yes.
I'm always drawn, if I go into a shop,
Yeah.
I'm drawn to the stripes immediately.
I think we're just drawn to colour, like the bold statements of colour, so geometric. So this is the Portran sweater, and it's by Sharon, the pattern's by Sharon Contour Knit is her designer name, and it's knit in Drury DK, so 10 House Yarns Drury DK in Mist and the Natural. You can see there's some lovely little details, not just stripes, it's got this little slip stitch detail there as well. Nice little twisted rib,
Very nice.
twisted rib, all that. Lovely and snug, a folded collar. So yeah, I'm cozy. Are you cozy?
I'm very cozy.
Very cozy. But we suffer for our knitwear. And in the
It was
shop.
cold. No, I was at home today. I wasn't in the shop, and I was cold, so I was very happy to have my lovely warm sweater on.
And I am getting an awful lot more use out of my knitwear now out in the warehouse.
Oh yeah, it's cold out there.
It is, yeah. Well, the offices have little heaters and stuff, but it's nothing like the level of comfort that you'd find, or the level of swelter that you have in here. So we have if you're not aware, in the centre here, there's a big glass roof, so the atrium provides an awful lot of warmth.
It gets very hot.
It does.
In the
It gets
summer.
warm, and then if you decided to throw 2 foot of wool on every wall in whatever room you were in,
We're
then,
well
then
insulated.
you'd know
Very
all about
good
it.
insulation.
So that's our. We won't complain. We have a chance to.
It's
to do that.
Valerie. Hey,
And
Valerie.
then Monica's watching while working. Well, at least we can accompany you. I'm delighted like that. Hi Valerie, and hi Knitfest. How's it going? Sari Nordland's Milo. Are you familiar with that one?
Say it again.
It's a pattern tulip. I can't say
sorry.
that, but she's knitting Sari
I
Nordland's
love Sari
Nilo.
Nordland, all right,
Neilo. Okay.
No, the name isn't familiar, but we probably have seen it.
Probably have. Probably, yeah. You'll look at it and go, oh,
Yeah,
that one. And Patricia had bought an extra screen of the pink Christmas yarn, and she's making another vest. Love the colours. That'd be gorgeous. That'd be gorgeous. Okay, I'll tell you about mine. I'll come back to comments as well in a little while. I'm probably not caught up, but sure, we'll work our way through them. So this is the
Colours.
I keep calling it the bubble sweater, but it's not. It's the balloon sweater.
Balloon.
Don't bubbles in my head, and every time I have to correct myself. So it is the balloon sweater by Petite Knit, and in a riotous poppy red shade.
It is so fabulous.
It really is really nice, and this is a colour that I would never have thought of wearing. And then I had a shop bought a little top that was this colour. I think I went to one of those sort of tell me what suits me things after my first baby, and there was a top that she said. I was like, oh, okay, put it on, it's nice. And then when Patricia made the curty sweater,
yeah, that looked really nice.
It was,
on
yeah,
you.
again,
It
I was
really
like,
did.
orangey style reds. I didn't think, but I'm convinced. So it has this lovely, again, it's not even actually a twisted rib. It's just a 1x1 rib collar. I think the pattern called for that to be a little bit taller, but I made a call on that. And then it goes in. I quite like
I
this
love
detail.
the feature.
So
She always has lovely features.
let me see if you can see that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Just try and get it out of the light. But this is actually the shoulder line coming out from there. All of this is blowing out. But and you keep that one stitch all the way down, and you just do your increases quite rapidly
just a
either
lovely
side
feature.
of that. And then that goes into the balloon sleeve, which, my God, is a lot of knitting.
And little needles.
And smallish, there's 4s, and then you go down to 3 mils.
4? Oh no, you're on the rib.
I'm on the rib, yes, down to 3 mil for that.
Oh no, 4's not bad.
But no, it's not. But because in your normal sleeve, you'd start off with so many, and you'd be doing kind of regular decreases.
So you get quicker
and
as
you
you go
feel
down.
you feel that momentum. But this is just round and round and round, and then at the very bottom is where you gather all those increases there, and then go into a really tight 1x1 rib cuff. So the idea is that all balloons out, and it's really nice. I did do a little try on of it. But yeah, I imagine I'm a little bit sleeve islanded, waiting to get to how to do a second one. But then it'll be all done, it'll be grand. But I'm enjoying it, yeah, and it is these 2 yarns held together.
The colours, it's just yummy.
This is Tin Silk Mohair from Sandsgarn, and it is the Petite Knit poppy red colour, and it's held together with Sunday in the same shade, and creates beautiful warm cozy fabric, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And that is what I was demonstrating. Sorry, the other details on it are like the Italian bind off,
the sewn bind off.
Yeah, the sewn bind off. So you're getting the lovely
edging.
Hopefully, you can see the lovely edge on that where it's it just looks like it continues on over the edge. So that's really, really, really nice. So although it's an awful lot of stockinette, there's these little nice little.
She does lovely features.
Yeah,
just a lovely little.
Just raises the bar,
little
raises the
touches,
bar a little bit.
touches,
Yeah.
little touches.
So that is the balloon sweater. And I only realised I've started to, like, this is one that I made last year, but obviously this is a shoulder type that I like, because this is the first time I did it in the Marta summer top in Ivy lace, and it's the same thing where you have one stitch flowing down, and that makes your shoulder line. Yeah, it is
I
good.
like the little features that designers put in just to make it a little bit extra special.
Exactly, they put thought and effort.
Like, it's as you go down here, the raglan. I love the way she did it.
Ooh, that's
just
nice,
really
isn't
nice,
it? The way that everything's been incorporated in.
Yeah, the way she did it.
See, and that's why
I'm not a designer. I just knit them.
Well, I was gonna say, like, that's why we need, pay designers fairly, buy your own copy of the pattern, just support all those wonderful independent designers, because then
there's a lot of work on the grading them for all the sizes.
Yeah, absolutely. But when a pattern is designed well and written well, it's just that pleasure to sit back and knit and feel like you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Somebody has thought this through,
Yeah.
and you can just enjoy the process.
Yeah. And I think most designers it's like their baby. So,
Yeah.
so when you find something wrong with it, they're like, oh.
Yeah. But then they do appreciate you telling them as well. So that's like errata will always slide. I mean, if you imagine that you're grading for 10 sizes and things, that if something pops up, by all means, but just give that feedback, and so it improves everything for the knitters that come after you as well. So let me see. Oh, I think we jumped, and I might have missed. If we missed your comment, let us know. Throw us in. Suv Derek, I'm gonna go with. You're knitting about Monday through the swirling leaves cowl. Using townhouse yarns, Drury and Wildgrove. That sounds like, I don't know the pattern, but the Wildgrove with the pattern as that name, gorgeous. It does sound like it works really well. So we'll have to do a whole show and tell.
And a quick peep at something else that I knit. It's the Elton sweater. I've knit several of the cardigans, but this I took a fancy to do in red. So it's the
Agent
Macaw. So Jenny had done it in the Fade Street and Abbey, stripes, if you can see. But it's really gorgeous, really light. But I said to Jenny, could you do that in Abbey for me so I can make? This is the thing.
She has an in with the dyer.
But I think if you did want a colour in a different base that she hadn't got, she'd do it for you. But it's a lovely light. I just like the Eltons. They're very wearable. They're light. So isn't that gorgeous? I love the colour.
It's fab.
And somebody was saying, "There's no blue, Joy. Where's your blue?" But there is actually.
It's in there. It's in the speckles. It is. So I know. And Jackie, my mum, is the same. She's knit a couple of Eltons now as well. So they're just lovely layers.
And it's the Fade Street and the Abbey. They're like the cardigans I wear an awful lot in the summer.
Oh yeah.
Because they're very light and they're very classy. So they dress up and you put them on over a dress and you feel all dressed up.
Nice.
Or jeans.
Melissa is also making a project by Petite Knit. You're knitting the Arrow sweater. I was only looking at that earlier today with a customer, and loving it too. She creates a nice design, so she does. So that is fantastic. And Betty Redmond is knitting a swirl hat and cowl with Lirland Natural and Chlorophyll. Natural. Life in the Land Grass. Chlorophyll is.
I think
so. It could be.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody's typing furiously, obviously, today. And then I realised, we did have one or two lives since the start of the year, but I never really shared the hats that I made over Christmas. And I was gonna come in and go, I made a hat trick of hats. Because I had 3 hats that I made over Christmas. But one I made for my son, and it was on his head when I left the house this morning, so I couldn't bring it in with me.
It was a bit chilly this morning.
It was a little bit, and actually, sorry, do you know what he did? Well, maybe I did. We only closed the top of the hat, and you're running your stitches through. Obviously, I didn't do that secure enough because one day he got off the bus recently, and it was
his finger through it.
He had poked his finger through it, and the stitches were all pulling out, and he was like, "We'd had a little something went wrong, Mammy," you know. Like I had nothing to do with it. But it had been like a little bit too deep on him, so I just took the opportunity to just pull it back and must have fixed it over the weekend, So it's like they're going fast. But I saw that you were loving the new kit, the NOUX kit, the one in Studio Donegal, Darney. That you got from us, so I really like that sweater as well. Yeah, it's one of those lightweight 4-ply tweedy pretties. It's really, really nice. So yeah, over Christmas it's March. How am I going only talking about Christmas now?
I know January seems to go on forever.
Yeah.
Once January's over, and now we're way into March. I don't know.
It's madness. 'Tis madness.
It is.
But I did a little bit of playing with stash and kind of just messing around with things. And I think sometimes we all get into that, like where you've got a little bit of something really special left over from a project. You kind of go, what am I going to do with it? You don't realize, you kind of think, what could you possibly do? And I'm going to highly recommend this hat.
I like it.
Kind of nice. So this, and talk about deep stash. You might or may not be able to see it, but the green here is a lovely olive green. I think it was a silk and wool blend, but it's got these tiny, it has some silver strands through it,
sparkly.
but some silver strands through it and some tiny little sequins through it as well. So we're talking deep stash, like special skein that I bought. Like, what was I going to do with one skein of silky wool with sparkle and beads? I had very glamorous notions. Well, I used some of it,
it's
in
gorgeous.
this hat. And this hat, so it's Spring on My Mind is the name of the hat pattern, and it's also it's the same pattern that I used for my son's hat that I can't show you, but it was greys and yellows that I did for his. And so the bottom part, leftover Malabrigo Rios in
Fuchsia.
Maybe fuchsia.
No, hollyhock. Hollyhock. Sorry,
you're very right. Hollyhock.
Hollyhock.
And then this lovely stash beaded art yarn. It's a Tilly Thomas brand. I'm not sure if that's still around. We used to stock it years ago. And then that went into, this is a Debbie Bliss, one of her Falkland Iron Merino.
Oh yes.
And I think that was left over from another hat. And then the top part is new because it's one of the Sandnes the alpaca ulls, which
it's lovely and
is
soft.
so
really
squishy and nice. So, but definitely odds and ends, my friends. This one.
I love projects that use up the leftovers.
Yes.
You feel like you've beaten the system.
I'm gonna say to Katerina, I find it hard to use leftovers of different weights. I hear where you're coming from, and what you need to do is just throw the rules out the window a little bit, right? Because and unfortunately I don't have his hat with me, right? But what happened was I started there and that was fine, and that, like, so let's say that's the grey, and then I went into the yellow, and then it was going back to the grey for this bit, and I ran out of the grey that I'd started with, and I went to my stash and I found a sock yarn, odds and ends of a sock yarn that would have been, so I'm knitting an iron weight, 2 4-plies held together, right, in a tone of grey that, like, the difference between here to here you wouldn't see it, and then just used a double strand of the 4-ply in that, and especially when you've got something like mixed colours like this, you're not going to see it, or in stripes, or in but using a 4-ply held double equal an iron weight, great way to use up odds and ends of that. And then this was a mastery in using up odds and ends, because what happened was I think I was using the other end of the ball of this,
right,
and then I started using the end of because there's a tweedy version of this, and I was using that, started to run out and was like, oh no, and I'm like, come on, and I started doing what's the method for the single row stripes in the round, and it's got the helical knitting, helical knitting.
You say tomato, I say
mixing
tomato.
in this with the tweed, and it just spread it all out. And it worked really well, and I was like, yes. I need
haven't
to
done
show
that.
people this and tell
Right.
people that. But it was a great way of mixing in two yarns that were quite similar, but just
Not
that little
quite,
bit.
yeah.
Instead of finishing like a block of that and then adding a block of something else to
I
finish
know.
it off.
It mixed in.
We have an Instagram reel on, if somebody reminds me afterwards, I will post that we talked about helical knitting and I will share that into stories afterwards. As a way of like, especially around the top of the hat, you're spiraling anyway and all that sort of stuff. It just worked out really nicely. And I'll dig out a picture of the hat as well and share that. So, because as Jackie would say, a man running for his life wouldn't know that there's like 5 different yarns in it. It looks like 3 colours, but there's actually 5 different yarns. So the weight, the top of the hat is Aran weight. And that's, so it is called Spring on My Mind, and you can have a lot of fun with your leftovers in that. And then hat number 3, I will leave it. But I really wanted to use some yarn that I had spun myself. Yay! Because it tends to be, I don't know, people who, if anybody out there does hand spinning, an awful lot of the time you maybe see the skein as your finished project and then you walk away and you're like, I made
and you
yarn.
just admire it.
Yeah, I made yarn. So I'm challenging myself to start using the hand spun and to really
really
be
gorgeous.
consistent and stuff like that. Well, it's so funny because I blended it, I think last year, because again, you might not be able to see, but in the green there's little bits of green sparkle. You probably can't, I'm going quite subtle. And then I used the blending board so that when I spun up the yarn that it would self-stripe and grade and everything like that. So these are 2 different types. And so I'm quite pleased that I could.
Sounds all very technical.
A little bit. Well, we'll try and do a little bit of video at the Stitch Social next week to kind of show a little bit more of the process as well. Because it's just about, I suppose, the order in which you spin the fibre and then like those transition points. That you kind of have like the colours start to kind of smooth
I don't
off.
need another. Hope to say.
But
Craft.
I know.
I've trouble keeping up with the one I'm doing now too.
But it's a slow hobby because I blended that fibre the previous Christmas, and then Christmas was over, and it was like, oh well, it's reds and greens, and it's very Christmassy. I'll do something with it the next time. So
It's not
and
that.
then
I wouldn't consider it Christmassy.
with the sparkle in it a little bit, but it's a subtle sparkle. And then again, alpaca wool from that was the Tweety one. So they all kind of informed each other. Anyway, so that was my Christmas hat trick of hats. Oh my gosh, long story short. Anyway, anybody out there doing spinning? Anybody who has used their hand spun? Because it is it's a challenge where you're kind of going, what? Yeah,
I know.
Because you tend to have like single skeins and odds and ends and stuff like that. So I gave you some.
You did.
I did.
I'm just
You
remembering
said
that.
about that.
No, I must now.
It's like, what do you give the woman who has
Give me
all the
blue.
knitting? Yeah, blue and sparkles.
Blue and sparkles.
Everything I blend has sparkles in it. So it's lots of
It's
fun.
a sparkly kind of
I'm
person.
a bit of a magpie. So yes, this is, I know, I'm going off onto my own little tangent on the spinning. On that I am, but sure. Hello to people in Northern California. I'm knitting Jamie Kennedy's swirl hat. Yeah, we had that one as well. Okay, lovely. So do tell us more about what's going on in your crafty worlds. Do you want to show? Oh yeah. Okay. We have 2 things to show you. Hold tight. Where's the blue, Joy? There's the blue, Joy. There it is.
It's called She's Electric.
She's electric. One, so that is.
It's Carbeth by Kate Davies. So Lisa asked me, we thought we'd make a sample. Could we have lots of samples of accessories?
Yes.
On the Aero Chunky. So I made a Carbeth. So it's really, really gorgeous. It's been on my list for so many years and I just never kind of found the yarn.
Yeah,
You know,
I find it tricky to find.
you know,
I've been wanting
so-
to make one for so
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
But it's a really lovely pattern. Really, really lovely.
Isn't it just gorgeous? It looks
it's
great on
absolutely-
you as well.
That's my colour.
Do you want to go off for a wardrobe change?
I'll go change.
She's going to wardrobe change. I'll tell you a bit more about the yarn and things. So hello, what did I miss? You missed loads. You're going to have to watch back. Hello from Kentucky, USA. I need to get over my fear of knitting around. We will help you with that. There is nothing to fear at all. It's just like, you can imagine running on a track. You're just knitting in a spiral. You're just covering the same ground but stacking on top. You're making like a spring. Is the idea. I think like most of these things, the thought of doing them is much worse than the actual doing of it. So just dive right in, make yourself a little neck warmer. So cast on 100 stitches, 100 stitches in a light worsted or 90 stitches in a heavy worsted, and knit a tube, and then keep going until it's nice and snug around your neck, and make sure to cast off loosely. That'd be the only thing, just to make sure. But that's the best project for trying to knit in the round for the first time. Aussie Yarny can spin, but you need a good video for collar work. You're going to attempt the ballot. Well, here shameless plug, completely shameless plug. We have got the full color work follow along, so it's a guided course, everything you'd ever want to know about working color work, in easy access videos. So check that out. It's on our website. It's called the My First Color Work Follow Along. Okay, here she comes. She's off stage. That's gorgeous. Is that just amazing?
Gorgeous.
It really, really, really is. Look at you, you're blending so nicely in with the shelves as well. It is the business. Now talk about cozy, oh my gosh. I love it.
It's really gorgeous.
We've got plans for this, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so first of all, just to go back over it, people are not familiar. This is a new chunky yarn from Townhouse Yarns, and it's called Farm to Yarn Chunky, and it's called that for a reason, is because the fibres have been sourced and produced by Eru Yarns, all from Irish farms. Irish sheep, Irish farms, and it is Blueface Leicester and Romney lamb's wool blended, but spun in a beautiful soft worsted style, and knit on 6.5mm needles, or thereabouts.
So.
Yeah, so nice. Which is US 10.
A few projects ago.
Okay, so in that region, so knits up really fast. As with any chunky yarn, this is your scales tipping, right? So it's, if you knit a lace waist shawl, it's going to cost you so much less, but in money, but way more in time. If you want to knit a beautiful chunky jumper, how many days?
Oh God, did I do it in a week?
Oh yeah, less than a week.
Less than a week.
So, but cost price does go that way, okay?
Yeah.
So
it is rather luxurious.
It is, but it's fabulous.
It's absolutely fabulous, I have to say.
Yeah.
I have to say.
And the original design is just 1 inch shorter
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, added a little bit.
It's quite cropped.
Yeah.
And I don't go for cropped so much. So in fact, really what I did was I kept going, because it's from the bottom up. That's the only frustrating thing about it, because it's like, it looked huge, I thought it was small. Do you remember I was texting you?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's huge. Oh no, it's too small. Because I top down has made me so lazy in a way, because
Relaxed.
you try it on, whereas I wasn't sure with this, but I trust, my gauge was good and I trusted the designer.
Yeah. And it's
but I did,
well tested.
I stopped when I hit the end of the second skein, because it was that quick, and I measured it and I thought, oh, it's an inch longer, but that's no harm.
Yeah.
And it is no harm on me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not like in the first flush of the youth when you can
I
wear
know.
things.
But a lot of the styles right there are, very high-waisted trousers and skirts, and it would work really nicely with that. But the pattern name,
lovely over a dress.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pattern name is called Carbeth, Carbeth.
Yeah.
And there is a sweater version and a cardigan version. So we are considering like a knit along or an assisted guided kind of version of this. But what I want to do is I'm going to I'm going to make my own cardigan version first, once my shoulder stops annoying me. And thanks, Carbeth by Kate Davies. And we're going to see how that all comes out. But yours took 6 7 skeins of this beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, that's
yarn.
well. I went into the 7th skein, about half of it, I think.
Yeah,
I
I know.
I
Look,
weighed
yeah.
it now. I've everything is on Ravelry. But yeah, as I kept going, I was like, oh, there's another skein. Oh,
I know, but look at the beauty.
But it's
look at it. Yeah,
it's
no,
amazing.
it's something that you'd wear and wear and wear. So
It really is amazing.
yeah, and I've loved the cardigan version for so long.
Yeah.
Kiddo63 says you'd like the cardigan version as well, and I just think what it is actually is it's more like at that gauge and thickness, it's more like a jacket, like one of those sort of seasonal.
Yeah, it's,
You know,
it's warm.
Yeah,
you can see.
You can go get changed again.
I'm getting a little bit rosy cheeked. But it is.
It's fab, isn't it?
It really is. It's fabulous.
So,
fabulous.
So we're going to try it out. We're going to make sure we can make up kits then once we're 100% certain about the yarn usage in this gorgeous base. And then we will have that ready for you. And if people want to do a bit of a knit along or a bit of a guided assistant experience, that we can do that too. AMF is asking, are all of Aru's yarns dyed in Ireland? Yes. So what they produce, yes. So the woolen spun in the 4-ply weight is dyed by Studio Donegal, and then the Farm to Yarn Chunky is dyed by us. I'm not sure if they provide bases to other dyers outside of Ireland, but Aru's own brand stuff, yes, definitely for sure. So what we're hoping for, the woolen is literally sheep to your hands, is an entirely Island of Ireland based process. So that's would you mind throwing me one of the 4-plies of Aru? Thank you. And then there we go. So that's this one here, the original that they released in the kind of 4-ply sport weight-ish, isn't it? Yeah. So that's all produced from the sheep all the way through to your hands in Ireland. And then that is spun. We have a whole interview with Zoe about the differences in the spinning methods. If you want to go back through our grid, you'll find that. So, but this is woolen spun, which tends to be a slightly more rustic feel. And then this is the exact same fibres, worsted spun, which gives a smoother, shinier finish.
The difference is incredible.
It is kind of amazing,
That's
you
really
know.
amazing.
So, but there's a lid for every pot, isn't that it? You know, where that like there are people who are very into colour work might find that the woolen spun is much more suited to that, depending on the style of colour work, because it has natural grip. So there's pluses and minuses for the different styles. But for hand dyeing and the methods that Jenny uses at Townhouse Yarns, the worsted spun is so much more suitable, and it's that bit closer, I think, to the softness that we're all sort of have been trained on in merino and all of that. So, but Carbeth, I can see more Carbeths coming, and if you're interested in joining us, let us know about that. Mixia973, I was in the shop last week and I got the chance to touch it, and it is so soft, and the colours are so vibrant.
They're fabulous colours.
We're really, really very, very delighted to be able to add that onto the shelves here as well. So that's fun. Now, so what else is going on, basically? I didn't mean to do it all Townhouse today. I knit both. You did the sweater and the cardigan when Kate first published the pattern, and you're still wearing them. That is such a good sign, isn't it? Like it really is high praise that you're like I like the way you can't take this off, but that there's still regular rotations in your wardrobe as well. And I just do, I think it's the sort of thing that you'll get a huge amount of wear of. And hi from Sweden. I'll be there again in May. The yarn I bought last time is now a sweater with my own Moomin pattern. Oh, you're gonna have to wear that in so we can see.
Oh, I seem to remember a lady with
where that was a plan.
Movements.
It might be a plan. I might have been tagged on Insta with that. So, but yeah, we loved here. I mean, have you? Because this is kind of our first more chatty one of 2025. Have you set yourself any challenges? Like I said, I want to use a bit more of my hand spun. But yeah, have you got any particular?
Well, it's the same as last year. Like in between, can I fall in love with something?
She keeps trying to use her stash. It's
the leftovers even more than the stash, because I don't have like a huge, in comparison to some people now, I do have a stash, but yeah, the leftovers, the beautiful leftovers. I mean, always kind of eyes on for patterns that I can use the leftovers.
Well, your grandkids, I'd definitely say this one is it's very, very, very handy for all the bits and bobs and colour themes, you know. Karina, I had started it earlier and brought it last time. It's finally done, so you probably remember it then from the movie.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Very, very good. That's brilliant. We love to see what the yarn grows up to be, don't we?
We do.
We do.
Yeah. It's lovely.
It is really good. So, and then the other thing I suppose is, we had with one of the tutorial reels today, which was about showing how to do Portuguese ribs.
Yes.
Or Portuguese knit and Portuguese purl, obviously, combined into the rib. So, has anybody tried any new techniques like that? Anybody taking on something new this year?
No, not me.
No. Anybody else interested in Portuguese knitting the way I am?
I'm very lucky that I don't have issues. I haven't had issues, so I just keep doing it the same way, because it's a bit like when you do have, say you hurt one leg and then you start walking different and then the other leg starts hurting. So I just keep doing it my way, you know.
And but would you be, because I'm curious to know, would you be like a looser knitter or a tighter knitter?
I'm a tighter knitter.
You're a tighter knitter. Because that's where, like, I'm kind of thinking, because I do get, like, I suppose I used to work as a, like, legal secretary, do a lot of typing, spend a lot of time on computer, and then now, believe it or not, an awful lot of being a yarn shop owner is spending time on a computer, and admin. So between that and the knitting, like, I find I'm prone to that. But yes, that's why I keep kind of trying to learn new styles of knitting.
Yeah.
And also just because I like to try new things.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm not open to new things. It's just what I do works. So
if it works for you, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Episode started on your first colourwork socks. Colourwork socks, so cool. And you're stuck on the gauge because that part is boring for you.
Oh, I know. I know.
No, we always swatch. Every single time we swatch. She doesn't say. I did for this. You know, when it's a garment, 9 out of 10 times will swatch, I would say. 9 out of 10. We won't listen to Joy. So, but swatching for socks, I think if they're colourwork socks, I definitely
well, especially if it's something for the shop, I will swatch. Or if it's a test knit, I wouldn't swatch for a shawl, don't mind you. But,
I know,
because a shawl is a shawl. It doesn't have to fit.
A shawl be a shawl be a shawl. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So they're laughing at us now that we don't swatch, right? So, Joy recently? Zuma said, Joy, I recently learned brioche, and I am wondering if the Medusa shawl would be acceptable as a first project, or should I practice on a simpler project first? What are your thoughts?
The shawl or the scarf?
Yes.
The shawl, no, not for a first project.
Yeah.
There's a lot to keep track of, an awful lot.
Yeah.
But the scarf, you've done the scarf.
I've done the scarf as well.
I've made, I don't know how many of them. It's quite repetitive, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I can get one to show you.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you wanted to try something like Andrea Mari and Lavanya Patriciella, both have like really good.
Lavanya definitely, she has quite a few patterns that are aimed at beginners to give you more confidence, because there's a lot of brioche is lovely and it's very rhythmical.
Yeah.
But it's fixing the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Lisa's Medusa, and you can see there's increases and decreases, and this is the one we did for
the Halloween
colourwork. The Halloween
colours.
Yes. But because it's so repetitive, once you get going on it. But the shawl, if I remember rightly,
I wouldn't take it on maybe as the first.
There was too many things going on all at once. So there was increases and decreases, and like at one point I think I had seven motifs. So not for a beginner maybe. It's just frighten the wits out of you.
We do, we want you to feel successful and to move on.
Build your confidence. You know, up rather than jumping in. I always say that to people. If you start off with something that kind of whets your appetite, rather than spending a fortune on the yarn and the pattern, and then you feel, oh my God, and I don't know if I can do it, and I spent all that money, and the whole thing gets too much.
Yeah.
Start small, get your confidence, whet the appetite, and then the sky's the limit.
There's so many fantastic brioche patterns out there, and I would throw it out to the people in the comments here as well, and people watching, is that if you are have recently picked up brioche, or you're an expert, can you remember what is the first project that you did that you felt would be a good introductory pattern? And
I think the first one I did was Plumpy.
Plumpy, yeah,
Plumpy.
yeah.
Jackie and I made them, and it's funny because Valerie, who's there somewhere, hi Valerie, she was asking me that today for a good starter, and that because it has garter stitch, and then and there's not a lot of shaping in it, so it kind of again just gets you used to the rhythm, and then if you're finding it, oh God, then you go on to the garter stitch, so you get a break from it, and then you go back into it. So
okay, no, that's a good one.
It's definitely worth doing. I love it. It's just I find it very rhythmical.
Absolutely, and the Medusa shawl will be in your future. It just maybe isn't going to be the first one. So yeah. So
I think that's probably why Julie designed the scarf.
It might be
because it's a lovely motif, but the shawl is maybe like that. Not for a beginner.
Fair enough. Aisling is confessing that she started swatching for socks and they've now become mittens. so that's in the mix there as well. And then Alexandra said she would like to learn brioche this year. Still a new knitter and have only been at it a year. That doesn't matter. I think once you've grasped the basics of cast on, cast off, knit, purl, basic shaping. After that, what there's sort of gatherings of techniques, and you can choose which direction you go in. So some people go straight onto, well, I'm going to make massive lace shawls, or deep dive on cables, or deep dive on brioche. You just choose the direction that you want to go in, and then it's up to you. It's whatever catches your eye, really, and you're going to stay motivated by working on a project that you really want to see the end result of.
Choose a colour that oomph to you, oh, I want to do this. This is gorgeous,
exactly. And then you find you just won't be able to put it down. Exactly, And then mistakes are part of it. They're just part of it. You learn patience from having to pick them out. You learn to put in lifelines as you go. And a bit of humility along the way goes a long way. But it's really worth just sticking with it.
And remember that it's for enjoyment, not supposed to be, terribly stressful, and this is something you're supposed to be enjoying.
It's low stakes, really. And if a project doesn't work out, that yarn can still be used for something else. Okay, you put your time into it, but that time isn't wasted because you've learned new techniques along the way, whether mistakes have been made or not. And you've gained that time and experience and the enjoyment of spending your time knitting. So always just take that on board and know that nothing's ruined, nothing's irretrievable. You can definitely always use that lovely yarn for something else if you find that it doesn't work out. Okay, so hopefully that's encouraging. And if anybody else has other suggestions, we've got Exploration Station is a good one. Carol likes my hair, thanks. I'm still getting used to it. It literally is only a few hours old, so I'm just I don't know who this person is that I can see. It's a bit strange, but and I'm not sure whether I'll be able to dry it this way either. So, but that's the new hair fun. I'm trying to remember what my first brioche was. Do you know what? I think I just did a simple 2-color brioche scarf. I'm pretty sure.
Another
I don't know where
one was
it is
the
now.
Slice of Light. That was a lovely one. Because it's a shawl pattern by Suzanne Summers. And it's quite a plain middle, and then you have 1-color brioche as like a border, and then you go to the 2-color brioche, and that's
a good teaching.
It's a good thing because there's a lot of plain. There is a bit of shaping because it goes down into a V. But just choose something that floats your boat. Really.
Float the boat. Okay. So I think I have to remember to post a picture. Post the tutorial by helical knitting. and I have to do the other version of the hat. Is there anything else that we have to share afterwards to kind of catch people's up? I'll send a link to the Colourwork follow along as well in stories and everything. So but thank you, I would say, for now, because we're coming up to no, I completely forgot about something else. Okay, just a quick sneak peek.
A sneak peek.
You could tell I was wrapping up, but I wasn't. No. And then Joy just went, but what about the thing? So what size, and then we have another question, so what size needles do you suggest to start learning to knit in the round? Honestly, any we'll pick the yarn that you like and match that. Yeah, so
nothing too fine.
No,
nothing too fine.
So you want to see the progress, like
double knitting or an iron weight.
Yeah, 5mm or US size 8 and 90 stitches on an iron weight or worsted weight yarn, and then just cast on, just knitting around and make yourself a lovely cowl. Jenny says, exploration station, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to Jenny, happy birthday to you. There she is. So sorry. That was, I can't do exploration station, and then the point shawl, so pretty, by Julie Knits in Paris. Yes, very,
remember
very nice.
I did that in
that was so
State
lovely.
Street.
So yes, and then speaking of herself, this is the sneak peek of again our Stitch Social on Tuesday will be when people get a little bit of first access to this. But we have Jenny has introduced a new base. Something that we've been meaning to do for a little while is get 50-gram skeins of sock yarn for all the playing. We were talking about all the different ways that you can play with this. So this is Chatham Lane sock in 50-gram skeins. That's coming to the shelves next week. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and in a 50-gram skein you
50
get
grams. Very useful.
212 meters per 50 grams, starting with 16 shades, and you know, you don't always need 100 grams, so like
of course the yoke sweaters. Yeah,
of course you can make socks if you have small feet, or if you want to do contrast heels and toes. I'm pretty sure I can get a little pair of ankle socks out of that, or kid socks or whatever. But yes, for edges along sweaters, for cuffs, for all sorts of like versatile things, and shawls that grade and fade, and I'll stop now. But anyway,
ideal for 2-color brioche socks.
Oh, now you're throwing down a gauntlet.
I want to see them, Aisling.
Now she's throwing down a gauntlet. Yes. So
look at those 2 colors together.
There are some very pretty shades. I just want to, I'm going to bring in a couple of different bits and bobs to show you there, so you can see. So the 50-gram sock yarn, and this is all going to be available somewhere on these very crowded shelves next week.
You'll be squeezed in.
Squeezed in. My jumper is called the Portran Sweater by Contour Knit and Townhouse Yarns, Drury DK, Mist and Natural. Thanks, Carol, for asking. Marty ordered Medusa kit and very quickly realised it was not for a beginner. It's now waiting to become something else. Or it'll become the Medusa scarf, exactly, when you have a little bit more experience. So it is a nice step up, but it is a step up from getting started on brioche. Okay, so I would 100% get into like the straight up 2-color, get comfortable with that, and then practice on some spare yarn, practice the techniques, look at the videos.
Because you can see there's like a 12 stitch increase, so there are places you can go wrong. Yeah,
but the increasing in brioche.
I bet if we examined this and we examined that, we'd find a few mistakes.
Never. Perfection.
Design features.
Yes, exactly.
We added to Julie's design.
Julie's stuff is already perfection. Thanks, Eileen, you just sat down. Okay, well we will be logging off shortly, but it'll be available to watch back very quickly soon after that. I think it takes about 5 or 10 minutes for Instagram to jump on into bring it back up on the feed, and you can watch from the beginning, hopefully. It's so lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us. I enjoyed this little catch up.
There you go.
Nice. I'll show that last one. That's Agent McCall, which is the colour that Joy did her Elton cardigan in.
Well, this one of course is amethyst, but it's I like the way this yarn takes the dye.
It looks
a really rich amethyst.
Really, really, really nice. So it has been absolutely lovely, and we will be back soon. No idea when, because life is just too crazy at the moment.
She's
but we will be back.
Busy woman.
Sure. So we are.
know.
Well, I've got a crack team helping us along the way, so it's all good. And we will see you back again soon. Call in, drop us a message, anything you need, let us know. And I will share those tutorials after this. So thank you so much again. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.